to. Jaevon, let's not waste any more time because I was a bit somber about John Cena, but it was kind of a somber week 15 in the NFL as we're starting things off with the Chargers beating the Chiefs 16-13. Normally, excuse me, normally there would be a lot of people, you and I included, very happy that the Chiefs have experienced their downfall this season, and were officially eliminated from the playoffs for the first time since 2014 on Sunday. But it was sad because Patrick Mahomes got hurt. He tore his ACL in the final minute of the game. And so now it's not only the Chiefs getting eliminated by the Chargers, but also Mahomes is done for the rest of the year, and it could impact next season. We don't know if Travis Kelce is going to retire or not. And so overall, it's a pretty sad situation in Kansas City. Like you and I, as fans of a team that lost to Kansas City, not once, but twice in the Super Bowl, like my girlfriend, Allie, I know she always roots against the Chiefs and she's been plotting on their downfall, but I know none of us were really happy with Mahomes getting hurt. So it's kind of two-sided here, Jaevon, but just what were your thoughts on the Chiefs losing to the Chargers 16-13?
Going into this game, the Chargers were coming off a very emotional victory on Monday Night Football against the Eagles, who, Kev was a little bit somber about after that game on Monday Night Football. But them just to be very short-handed on the offensive line. Obviously, Justin Herbert has the broken hand that he's still been playing an issue with, and the Chargers have been kind of throughout the whole entire of their season, they've just been winning games ugly. And for them to pull this victory out on the road as 5.5-point underdogs, I thought this game was very tough telling about what the Chiefs were looking like pretty much all season and what the Chargers have been like all season. And I think as far as from the beginning of the year, the Chiefs were shorthanded at receiver, and they were, they're missing this guy, and they still got to knock the rust off. They'll figure it out eventually. And you just kept kicking that can down the road. Hey, eventually the Chiefs are going to they're going to figure it out. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He's this, he's that. He's going to put his cape on. And we've seen flashes of that as the season has kind of progressed. You see little flashes of the Chiefs, like, hey, they're the Chiefs. They came back down from this team or whatever, if this or this would have happened. And I think last year, a lot of these one-score games that they're losing currently, they were getting every single break imaginable last year, like the block kicked against Denver or a tipped pass, an interception, a long bomb that bounced the right way for them. They're not getting that this year. And I think it obviously has been showing the entire year. And I mean, you had Chris Jones at the press conference like, hey man, we still got a fighting chance. And then the reporter's like, you've been eliminated. his whole
Stats over politics.
His whole demeanor was like, oh. And so the long period of time of Mahomes' future, Travis Kelce's future, Chris Jones' future. I think Chris Jones is an older, expensive player who hasn't been performing to the level that we've seen him perform at. Travis Kelce has already kind of been teetering with the R word, retirement. And he's kind of been, he's got his podcast, he's got this going, he's getting married. There's like a whole different dynamic. So he's kind of started to pivot a little bit from just being all in. And I think where they're at as a team currently, they're not good. Obviously not because they're missing the playoffs. And I don't know why people are starting to come for Andy Reid. Like, let's relax. Let's relax on. This is the first time since I think 1998 that Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes have not been in the playoffs. So let's just take a step back and just realize for what it is, how good this Chiefs dynasty was. Because I think they're starting to transition into a different version of themselves. Patrick Mahomes is, Kevin is a guy who just, as soon as you hit 30 years old, your clock just magically starts to start ticking. And Mahomes obviously is at that age currently right now. He's 30 and has the torn ACL. I don't know where Brett Veach and the Chiefs are as far as Patrick Mahomes' future for next year. But I know the competitor in Patrick Mahomes is like, I want to be back as soon as possible. They can look at it from a different perspective of, hey, we've been picking 32nd or 31st for the past however long we've been. Since Patrick Mahomes has been our quarterback, we've always been in the AFC Championship, Super Bowl, AFC Championship, Super Bowl, AFC Championship, Super Bowl. We're always picking last in the draft. Now maybe we might be able to creep up into that 12, 13, 14, and maybe we can trade up and get into the top 10 and get one of those premier players that a lot of, shittier teams usually get. So next year, they could be like, hey, man, we love you. You're making all this money. We can restructure your contract to where you can get paid a little bit more up front. Maybe you can just take the year off and say, hey, we'll start Gardner Minshew the entire year. Not ideal because Chiefs fans want to win and they've been so accustomed to winning. But they can look at it from a different lens of saying, hey, Mahomes sits out the remainder of the year, or he sits out, let's say, 12 games, and he comes back later in the season. They're already behind the eight ball. They're what, 5-9, but he wants to come back and do this. There at that point, I just don't think there would be a logical reason to bring him back. But at the same time, you could look at it from, hey, let's just not rush you back because if you get hurt again, you're the franchise. We don't want you to come back and try to re-aggravate something that we know usually takes 8 to 9 to 10 to sometimes 12 months, depending on the person and how their body reacts to treatment and reacts to rehab. So they could get a top 10-5 pick if Mahomes kind of takes a year off. And then Kevin sent me something ridiculous, or just telling me something ridiculous. They could get Jeremiah Smith and then Patrick Mahomes. The league would be on fire. I don't
Lord, please, no, no,
I don't
no,
know if
no.
the world could handle that. I don't know if the NFL could handle that.
Jaevon,
That
it's
would just
already enough for me. It's already enough for me as an Ohio State fan who's also a 49ers fan. It's enough for me to see Marvin Harrison Jr. on the Cardinals and to see Jackson Smith and Jigba on the Seahawks, two of our main rivals. It's enough for me. So I don't need Jeremiah Smith on the Chiefs. That would be dreadful.
That would be insane because he's going to definitely be a top 5 pick. And the projection that I'm saying is if Patrick Mahomes doesn't rushing back is we're in December now. That's like around the timeline of people are saying usually ACL recoveries is like a year, but now people are like saying it's kind of been shortened to like 9 months, 8 months, like in that time frame. But
depending on how diligent you are with your rehab.
Yeah, it depends on the rehab process. I mean, hell, I'm seeing Fred Warner shatter his ankle, and people are talking about he'd be ready for the playoffs. So I mean, it's a whole lot. It all depends on how you attack the rehab, and we all know what Patrick Mahomes is capable of. But the Chiefs are they're kind of in a decline, but this is kind of more of a reset period for them, and how to retool the second half of Patrick Mahomes' career, because the first half is already a Hall of Fame career. Now the second half is how do you retool around that, get a little bit younger, go heavy in the draft, and go about it that way. The Chargers are, once again, just knocking on that door. Just one of those teams a lot of people in the AFC aren't really talking about. Hey, we're still over here, guys. We're winning games. We got a really good quarterback. Harbaugh, once again, is just home run higher. A lot of people, I mean, me and you know from experience on how good of a coach Jim Harbaugh is. And he can turn your team around overnight, basically. Just got to give him the reins, and he's going to figure it out. I mean, their quarterback is one-handed right now, and they're still winning games. So come playoff time, there'll definitely be a tough out. This defense has been playing phenomenal the past couple of weeks. So got to tip your cap to Harbaugh and Herbert for going out there and making it happen.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the Chargers there at the end, because a lot of the storyline from this game is, the fact that the Chiefs were eliminated from the playoffs for the first time since 2014. But the Chargers had to go there and beat them. And they didn't just beat them at Arrowhead. They swept them this season, because let's not forget that the Chargers won the season opener in Brazil against against the Chiefs. And so the Chargers, they are a real contender. But now we look at the Chiefs and we could finally say, I don't know if we can necessarily say the Chiefs dynasty is over, because to me, already having 3 rings, while Mahomes is there, the dynasty is still active, especially while Mahomes and Andy Reid are there. The dynasty is still active. Travis Kelce may retired, and that's going to be a huge piece no longer on the team. But as long as Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are there in Kansas City, the dynasty continues for me. They're not going to win the Super Bowl every single season, but damn, they came close a lot over these last 6-7 years, getting 3 championships, getting to the game twice, and making it to the AFC Championship every single year. And so we look at the fact that the Chiefs are no longer in the dance. But I saw this stat, and we're going to get to the Rams later in our fast rundown. But I saw this stat, Jaevon, and it honestly made me sick, because this is from @Ben Baldwin on Twitter. He says, NFL season since Patrick Mahomes became starter. Starting in 2018, the Rams won the NFC. Then the Chiefs won the AFC in 2019 and 2020. The Rams won the NFC in 2021. Then the Chiefs won the AFC 2022 through 2024. So it's basically saying, since Patrick Mahomes has been a starter, that either the Chiefs are going to win the AFC or the Rams are going to win the NFC.
Oh, no.
I would love to see this streak come to an end. I saw it. I thought it was a little bit jarring for us as 49ers fans, but I hope that streak comes to an end.